Today we're tackling ICE raids, the Supreme Court, Chicago shootings, and robot cops in Miami, all under one question. Who's really enforcing the law, and who's just chewing on it?
Squeak, squeak.
If animals can follow the law, you might survive.
Should laws be race blind or kangaroo blind? Asking for a friend.
I demand equal voting rights.
Voting rights are no joke, even if the judge is a kangaroo.
They must really love their fake stuff.
It's legalish, right?
Only if you're a raccoon with a law degree.
Immigration enforcement must target actual crime, not just the adorable.
Legally.
Too many people walk through life carrying fear, not because they've done something wrong, but because no one ever told them they have rights. When you don't know the law, even ordinary life can feel like a risk. That's why we build Know Your Rights Foundation, a place where the law becomes clear, simple, and yours. Knowledge is your shield. The law is your defense. Start learning today at kyrf.org.
Knowledge is power, and power protects. Learn your rights for free with the Know Your Rights Foundation. Visit kyrf.org or support the cause at shopkyrf.com. Protecting people through education, not fear.
When the moment comes, will you know what to say? At the Know Your Rights Foundation, we teach the law for free, protecting people through education, not fear. Visit kyrf.org to volunteer, donate, or learn your rights before you need them.
This isn't fear, it's freedom. Join the movement. Learn your rights. Visit kyrf.org or grab your gear at shopkyrf.com. The Know Your Rights Foundation, teaching the law for free.
Know your rights before you need them. The Know Your Rights Foundation teaches the law for free, protecting people through education, not fear. Visit kyrf.org or support the movement at shopkyrf.com.
What's going on, people? What is going on? What's happening, people? So, we missed a little LawCast last week. I had a little sinus problem, and that's also why I missed the live stream last week. But welcome to LawCast, everybody. We try to do these every other week, but sinuses was going crazy last week, so we'll see how it goes today. But what's going on to the people? Thank you for showing up. We have to do these because it's getting crazy as hell in America. So we got to learn how to bypass and sidestep and, dip and dodge, bob and weave, all of the rest of the stuff that all these other people are going to get hit by. How do you do that? You got to know the law. You have to know law and government, how the system works. So then you know how to jump through the loopholes. You know how to dodge all the swings and the bullets that comes at your head. You know how to do all of that if you know how the system works, if you understand how the system works. So this is why we're here with the LawCast, to bring it to you every week so that we can get this understanding in the community. So that we know what we keep track on what Trump's doing, because Trump is losing his damn mind right now. If y'all don't know, again, he does good stuff for America, but he's on the back end of stuff that you don't hear about is all the bad shit. So got to keep it real. We got to tell you both sides. So the bad stuff is kind of bad. So and if you don't, and the stuff is bad, I will say this: the stuff is bad because a lot of people don't understand the system that we live in right now. So it allows him to take advantage of the system and advantage of the people within the system because you don't know the law. So this is why we're here to bring this to you. Today we have one of our most valued Know Your Rights members coming to the stage. Her name is Odalise. Hold on, bam. What's up, Odalise? How you doing?
Yeah, fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. Introduce yourself to the people. Let them know what Know Your Rights Foundation has done for you, if anything at all.
No, you're right. That's done a lot of amazing things for me, including it's kept me out of tickets and the courts. So about 4 years ago, actually today, I got pulled over and I had a ticket that was very pricey, that was uncalled for in my estimation because I wasn't speeding. And I was able to defend myself in court, but I still felt cheated. And I had asked the universe to give me a method or a way that I could get back what was I felt taken from me, because the ticket was $550 and it was negotiated down to $175, even though I didn't commit anything. And on my way back from the court, I was listening to 363 and Kev Rionagas was there.
Shout out to Bro Rich.
And at the end of the show, you spoke about know your rights. I immediately signed up, and it was the best thing I've ever done. Learning the law and feeling the sense of confidence that I now do, and being able to educate other people on the law is the best reward that the universe can give me. So I'm very grateful. Thank you to you and your organization for all that it's done for me and my friends and families.
All right. Well, appreciate you, Odalise. Thank you, girl. All right. So the next person we have coming to the stage is he's a little I wouldn't say police hate filled, but he just has he just, let's say he keeps his eye on the popo, just to say that. But but definitely also one of the most valued members of the Know Your Rights Foundation. What's up, Devlin? How you doing, brother?
Peace. How's everybody doing?
Peace, brother. So introduce yourself to the people and let them know what brought you to the Know Your Rights Foundation.
Basically what brought me to the Know Your Rights Foundation is basically the law. I saw you on Zoe's show.
Peace out, Zoe, brother.
Morning show.
Peace, brother Zoe. Zoe Williams.
Yeah, I saw you on there, and I heard you spitting knowledge about the law on there. I was like, man, who is this guy? And then I started following your channel on Real Nagas, and I was like, okay, I need to learn more about this. And that's what attracted me to the Know Your Rights Foundation, because there's only a small percentage of the population that knows the law. And if you know the law, I mean, you put yourself ahead of the game.
Absolutely. For sure. We're not going to discuss your hate for Popo right now. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, brother. No, I'm just kidding. But it's understandable. Actually, I think the other person that we have may be even more of a hater than you of the Popo. Isn't that right, Miss Odalise? She's even more of a hater. So we have some Popo haters up in here. So, which is understandable because the Popo be smacking up on us all the time. But this is why you have to understand and know the law, know your rights, really. You want to know the law, but mostly know your rights. You want to know your rights and how not to let police violate them and how to assert them. So this is why we brought this here to you. The LawCast got a couple of people in here. What up, 305 Capricorn. We got Golden Gold 676, or excuse me, 5676. We got Sam Stone. What up, brother Sam? So so we got a lot going on right now. So Trump is tripping out. And how do we stop it? Or is what he's doing legal? Can you stop it? These are the things we have to understand, because a lot of rhetoric has been going around about everything he's doing is unconstitutional. He's a Nazi. ICE are Nazis. Blah blah blah. It's going crazy. You know, all the usual rhetoric to try to get you rage baited, marching in the streets, doing crazy stuff. Everything other than learning the law. No, don't do that. You go do everything other than, is what he's doing legal, first off, and then how does it apply to me? If they come at me, how can I make them stop? Because you can make them stop if you know your rights. Because ICE, they're not versed in constitutional law, so they pretty much violate constitutional rights, regularly. Now, having said that, they try to teach them, because the head of ICE is a former police officer, a former New York police officer. They do try to teach ICE basic, reasonable, articulable suspicion, police stop law, stuff like that. But they're soldiers and stuff like that. So they don't really versed on it that much. So when they're snatching a lot of these people up in the street, they're violating their rights, even if they're what they call quote unquote undocumented illegal immigrants. So even though if there are illegal immigrants, a lot of the times police officers are violating their constitutional rights, because when they walk up to you and ask you questions, you don't have to answer the question. But a lot of illegal immigrants don't know that, and they just break out running. Bam! they boom. They take off running. So, if you don't understand your rights, then you will let police officers violate them on a constant basis. So this is why am I on the side right here? What the heck, girl? Why am I on the side? So yeah, so if you don't understand your rights, police officers will constantly violate those rights. So let's see what's going on in New York. Let's see what's happened in the last couple of weeks in New York. Hold on. Gotta share the screen with you guys. Oops. Hey, what is going on? Hold on. Why is this playing? Hold on. Hold on. Yo, hold on. God damn. What the hell is going on? Yo, there's something is tripping right now. I have no idea. Hold on, guys. I have no idea what's going on because I have no control over the background. Seriously, what the hell, man? Hold on. God damn. This is some bullshit. Satora, you need to stop the background. Whatever this is, you need to stop it. Well, this is beginning to be some fucked up shit right off the bat. Hold on, guys. This is what happens when you have a new podcast and start doing too much behind the scenes. Damn it. Hold on. This is ridiculous. Hold on. God damn. Wow. Jesus Christ. All right. So, sorry. That shit just started playing videos for no damn reason. All right. So, hopefully we got it back. All right, here we go. God damn. This is ridiculous, man. So, what is this? StreamYard sucks. Let me just say that. Fuck StreamYards. They were not supposed to, you're not just supposed to automatically start playing people's videos in the background. It just started doing that for no reason. But we think we got it back. So here we go. It just starts playing videos automatically. What the hell is it doing? Yo, this is crazy. All right, here we go.
Over. ICE or the HSI just came through here and raided and took some of the people away. We got this lady hitting cars.
They're fucking Nazis! They're
evicting people from their homes and their schools and their jobs.
Here in New York City, an ICE raid or an HSI raid just took place here in New York City on Canal Street. These streets are typically filled with counterfeit scammers. However, ICE or the HSI just came through here and raided and took some of the people away. And just a few days ago, a popular citizen journalist by the name of Savannah Hernandez came through here, showed what's been happening. I myself have even documented this once, as I was once attacked and my cameraman was punched by one of these illegal migrants that was selling goods illegally. And I just caught a phone call from somebody and said, you need to go run over to Canal in Chinatown to see what is taking place. And this is the aftermath of this ICE raid. A raid just took place here in Canal Street in New York City. They came in, you got HSI, looks like you might have ICE out here. And they have taken somebody. It looks like we got a whole group of protesters that just appeared out of nowhere. Look, we have people hitting cars. We got this lady hitting cars. Here we go. What the? They just raided Canal Street, and now you have a whole mob of people taking over the street. You have federal agents right here, HSI. There's a whole lot of illegal activity that takes place on Canal Street. So now everyone's pissed off. Now these federal agents are just walking down the street all by themselves. There's no car or anything. What do you think about what's going on here?
Dude, they're getting mobbed. There was just probably 50 to 100 people that surrounded the cars and were banging on it. It's getting chaos. The agents are freaking out and pushing people out of the way. They're trying to...
There's no car. There's no cop cars here. There's no federal cars.
There's no cars. They're all on their own. Everyone's going fucking haywire.
Look at him. Look. I can't even believe what I'm seeing right now. The feds are literally all on their own right now. What do you think about what's going on here on Canal Street? New York City, what do you think about this? How do you feel about ICE coming in? Feds coming in? Any response?
Come down here no more.
Just keep yelling at the feds?
I got some for you. I don't think so. I don't think so. That seems violent.
We got this lady yelling at this man.
So, as you can see, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy in New York. Now, Canal Street, I haven't been to New York in a long time, but Canal Street is where you get the hookups, apparently. Odalise is from New York. She pretty much knows. Is that the where you get the quote unquote hookups? Excuse me. Wait, say it again. I didn't hear you.
Maybe.
Is that maybe? is that a yes or no? I need a hard yes or no. Which is yes or
But I just have to say that
you gotta speak up into your mic, or at least wherever your mic is.
Oh.
You're not loud enough. There you go. Speak up.
Is better?
Yeah, but just talk louder.
Okay. So yes, Canal Street, you will find a lot of counterfeit. It's kind of like when you go to Hong Kong, the same concept carries on in Canal Street because there's a lot of Asian or so-called vendors that are immigrants. But I have to say, I'm a little bit disgusted with the reporter to imply that he knew that those vendors were illegal just because they were African. Okay.
He did know that they were illegal.
Huh?
He did know that they were illegal. He did a story on them 2 weeks before that, and they tried to beat him up. They did beat him up. They beat up his cameraman. So he has intricate knowledge of those people who he's talking about. See, we don't know, but we don't know before we start speaking.
Okay. I know that they were illegal just because they beat him up. I know legal people that beat people up all the time. I'm just saying.
Because he did a story on it, and he went to where all the illegal immigrants were, and they were picking up and moving every time the cops came because they were illegal immigrants. He did a whole story behind the scenes story on it.
But they also pick up and leave when they don't have the license.
No, but they were illegal immigrants. These were illegal immigrants. they had already. These were illegal immigrants. He knows they were illegal. They were already illegal immigrants. They had already been around there. So we're not going to assume. We're not going to go with the. He didn't know that they were illegal immigrants. We're not going to go with that. They were illegal, and so the fact that they're on the canal, we know that the people on Canal Street. Let's stop acting like we don't know illegal immigrants be selling stuff in New York. Is that what we trying to go there?
No, we're not going to go there. But what I'm saying is that people get up and go when they don't have license to sell product, and that's
who usually doesn't have the licenses in New York. who usually doesn't have the licenses. They showed a whole row of dudes with their cars laid out next to each other, and they have poles on the bag on the corners. So when the cop come, they can drawstring all of their stuff in the middle of the blanket and just pick it up and walk with it on the back in 2 seconds. Now, are you telling me?
I'm in New York, okay, in Manhattan, twice a week. So I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I think the assumption can or cannot be correct. That's what I'm saying, just from my perspective.
But you're assuming that they're assuming. That's your assumption. So you stop with the assumptions. You do your research on the people that you're talking about who are assuming first before you start assuming that they are assuming, right? Is that not a clear logical thing to do first?
But it's not the reporter's responsibility to be ICE either. I'm just saying. And
it's his responsibility to report. All right. So we see what side of the game she on. Devlin, what say you?
Well, yeah, I think with what they're doing on Canal Street, they're probably using like totality of circumstances, because I'm thinking it's a high crime area, and if people are gathering up their things and like jetting out when they see the police or whatever, they're probably chasing them like you would totality of circumstances and gaffling them up. But I don't think these I don't think like even the police, they know the law like that. So I'm thinking like the ICE agents or whatever are doing the same
leave
thing
him on the screen. Thank you.
As the police, like when you come in contact with just regular everyday police, they don't really know the law. Because once you know the law and you see what they're doing out here, you're like, man, these guys don't know anything. A lot of them. I can't say everybody. I can't generalize like that, but a lot of them really don't know the law. And like if you just know your constitutional rights and know basic constitutional law, I mean, you can run circles around them. But I think on Canal Street, they're using totality of circumstances or whatever to round them up. And I know it looks chaotic or whatever, but I mean, it looks like Canal Street is just full of chaos also. If you just look at what's going on there with vendors without licenses and
let me say this. So a lot of this happened from when Biden was in office, and they just let everybody in after the Title 42 had ended, with that Trump had up, where he kept immigrants out. So basically, before you had to get into America, you had to stay in place, right? So whatever you had to you had to stay in the country that was next to the country that you wanted to shelter in. Like if you could get asylum in the country before you got to like America, then you had to stay there for a while and then apply to America. So before, when Biden got in office, or a little bit after Biden got in office, that ended, and that's when they started to flood the borders. And most of the people who came were, there were a lot of the immigrants from the countries over in. You had a lot of Somalians, you had a lot of Palestinians. You did have some Ukrainians. So you had a bunch of people flowing through. You had Chinese. You had a lot of Hispanic people coming from Hispanic countries, a lot of Mexicans, a lot of people coming from Venezuela, all these different countries, right? So a lot of people, though, came from the African countries, Somalia and all these different places. So these are the people who, when they got to New York, they went straight to these streets. If you were doing videos and watching it back then, a lot of these people went straight to these streets and started hustling, which is what you're going to do. If you come to a place where you don't got no money, you're going to start hustling. So I'm a hustler too. So I don't deny them. Understand, you got to hustle. However, when you do that, though, you have to understand there may be some consequences behind me trying to shuck and jive the system. So when this happens and ICE comes and says, all right, look, we got to snatch you up. The people in New York, they say, hell no. Now, again, should ICE be allowed to do their job in this way? Because this is the thing. A lot of people say, well, yeah, ICE can do their job, but they shouldn't do it in this way. The reason ICE is saying they have to do it in this way is because the cities won't let them into the jails where they keep the criminal illegal immigrants. Because if you let them in the jails, then they're not out on the streets, and they don't have to catch the side people, which is called collateral damage. Because a lot of people getting snatched up are collateral damage. So if you let them in the jails, you don't get any collateral damage. But because they won't happen, this is how come we have all the chaos. Now, you can agree. Do you agree or disagree? Odalise?
Agree or disagree with what assessment that they're not allowed in the jail? First of all, when you're an illegal immigrant, if you're caught, you're held for a certain period of time, but then you're deported. So it generally they're not held in the jail. So maybe I'm not understanding, but that was
no. So what he's saying is, so they have a lot of illegal immigrants over here are people who've left and got kicked out and came back over here, and they commit crimes, and then they get arrested. Yes. And so there's a lot of them in jail. And so instead of alerting ICE that they have someone who has been deported and came back, what they'll do is just keep them in jail. Or when ICE tries to come and get them, they'll let them out. So that's like when that's why that lady, the lady who got the judge who got sent to jail or who got arrested, because it was a illegal immigrant who had beat up their roommates, like beat them beat them up so bad they had to go to the hospital. So when they were in the court, the roommates, they were like, yeah, he needs to be punished for what he did to us. I mean, he beat them up both bad, like really bad. And so when he was getting ready to go up to get arraigned or get sentenced or whatever, ICE was in the back, and the judge saw ICE in the back and let him out the back door. But before she even arraigned him or anything, adjudicated him or anything. So he was guilty of beating the crap out of sending 2 people to the hospital. But because she didn't like ICE, she let that dude out the back door where ICE was waiting. They figured that they would do something like that. So ICE was actually waiting on the dude out the back door. But so you have stuff like that. Now they're saying, like, if you just let us in the jail, and when they arrested him the first time, had ICE been able to come to the jail and get him, you wouldn't have had all that happen. So what do you say to that?
I basically say that no one is above the law. So if someone committed a crime, they should serve. But what is interesting to me is my assessment of the fact, I have a personal story where when my uncle was arrested for a crime that he committed, he was deported because he just had a green card. So the fact that they're giving more leeway to illegal immigrants, I think that makes that the system is totally off, because the fact that illegal immigrants now have a preference over even Americans, in my opinion, when they do that, means that the system is totally corrupt. I don't know what the motive behind it is, but in reality, they should serve the time, and ICE should be allowed to go into these detention centers and get them out of the United States, because in actuality, that saves the taxpayers money, and that was the way the system was set up, to be honest.
All right. Devin?
Yeah, I agree with what they're doing, because I mean, when they first started this, they were like trying to work with the cities, and with the sanctuary policies that some cities have, they're making it harder for ICE agents to do their job because they're over immigration. Federal government's over immigration. You're not even supposed to have sanctuary laws or sanctuary cities or whatever like that, right? And Trump was like saying, hey, we can do this the hard way or the easy way, but you're going to have a lot of collateral damage if we have to do it the hard way. If you just cooperate with us, just like they did during like the red cities are doing. Cooperating with, you don't see any of this chaos in the red cities where they cooperate with them. It's just in the blue cities that have these sanctuary policies.
Okay, so you saying do it the right way, and that won't happen?
Right, because it's already been shown, like in the red cities that are cooperating, I mean, you don't see all this chaos. It's just in the blue cities.
Well, and look, and so let's continue. I want to continue with the video so that we can see. Again, this is New York, New York, New York, big city of dreams.
And there's no Fed cars to be seen right now. What raise did you guys do? Back up. Okay. You literally have all these protesters now. They're getting surrounded. And there's no federal vehicles anywhere right now. We're right here outside the federal court. Now everyone's chanting, shame, shame.
Show your face! Come on, what are you scared about? What the f are you scared about?
Now we do have one vehicle. They have feds and they got the guns, they got the snipers, rifles. It looks like they have one vehicle. Has a pepper gun right here. Feds are trying to move down the street. Yeah, people trying to block off the streets.
So the controversy is, should these people be allowed to protest in this way? Is this a proper way to protest if you have a grievance with the government? Because this is what we are. We're the Know Your Rights Foundation. So we have to teach you the proper way to do things. So most people think this is what's called protesting. They think this is what protesting is. Is this the proper way to protest when you have a grievance? This is what we need to get down to, because most people think, all right, Trump is going out of control. He's not following the law, which he actually is. If they were able to look up the law, he's not breaking the law. Trump is I've said he's the law bender. He's not the law breaker. So what's the proper way to do this? What's the proper way to do this? And I know, because you would be one of these people, wouldn't you, Odalise? Would you be one of these people?
I put it in perspective, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to, that one of the things that we teach our members in Know Your Rights is the 5 rules: keep calm, keep calm, keep calm, keep calm, and keep calm. So the way to protest is not to fight and put yourself in harm's way. You can protest, but you have to do it peacefully, because that is a First Amendment right.
Wait, say it one more time.
So your First Amendment right is your right to basically protest, but to do it peacefully and to be calm, to articulate yourself in a way that is effective. When you are being violent and out of control, you're just giving the police one of the triggers of totality of circumstances to deem that you are making them unsafe. So therefore, they can do other things to you because you have inspired it,
You're giving them a reason.
Yeah.
You're giving the popo a reason whenever you act like this. Devlin?
Yeah, I think they are doing it the right way if they're trying to start a riot, and if they're trying to get several felonies on their record and go to jail. I think they're doing it the exact right way if they're trying to do that. But if they're trying to do it the right way, no, they should not be doing that. They should not be trying to block them in. They should not be obstructing. They should not be throwing rocks at the trucks and all this other things they're doing. No, they're not doing it the right way.
So hold on real quick. Everybody out there in the comment, I'm about to put a link. If you guys want to comment, come on stage and comment on what we're talking about. We're putting the link in the screen. You have to have StreamYards in order to be able to come on here. So if you don't have StreamYard, you can't come on stage. But if you have StreamYards, come right on in and come up on stage. Now, my take on this is both of you said is right. But this is planned. A lot of this stuff is planned. This is organized. This is paid for. this is supposed to bring about strife and turmoil and let you see that whoever's behind this wants it to look like America is at each other's throats. Because when you go deeper into this, you have to do deep dives, as this guy does. This dude, his name is Nick Shirley. So he's one of these cats. He goes into the whole thing. Like, if you've seen Nick Shirley, like he goes into the hood with the gangsters by himself. Like no security, nothing. He went into the gangster's house. They had guns everywhere and shit. Nick Shirley, he real with it. Like, he don't care. He'll go anywhere, no matter what, just to tell the story. So when you're doing this type of stuff, when he was going in and going to other protests, he saw that there were like tents with barbecue grills, and they had supplies. They had like infinite supplies to keep them going. Now, who's paying for that? They had gas masks, like boxes full of gas masks, and you got beef to cook and grills and water and blankets and all kind of stuff. Megaphones, like, just piled up on top of each other. Who's paying for all of this stuff? If this is supposed to be random protests. So somebody is weaponizing protests in order to drum up strife and turmoil in America, to make it seem like there's a lot more outrage than there is. Now, having said that, the people who are outraged, they are people who don't actually know the law, because the people that are getting snatched up by ICE are actually people who have been ordered out of here most of the time, unless you're collateral damage. You were at the place. Like, some of these people are who are getting snatched up are people who are committing, they're starting violence. They're basically trying to incite a riot. Like, one of the reports was a 16-year-old kid got snatched up. The mother went there and said, snatched my 16-year-old son. He's American. He's an American. So now all of a sudden ICE is snatching up American citizens. Oh my God. Well, come to find out, that 16-year-old kid got out of school, left school early to go throw a rock at ICE. What you doing? You go to the protest. You're supposed to be your ass at school, but you get out of school to go throw a rock at the police. That's why he got snatched up. Again, everybody, you have to know your right. You can't be out here emotional, thinking that emotion is going to run things. Emotion is not going to run anything. It's your knowledge of the system and how well you're able to take advantage of the loopholes within the system. From knowing it, though, not from just sitting up here thinking that you know it, watching TV shows. No, you actually have to know what's going on. And so that little 16-year-old kid, he fafoed. He effed around and found out. So this was going to have to happen at some point in time, and the emotion is going to have to be taken out of it, because this is all emotion. So what's the solution, Odalise?
What's the solution to illegal immigrants, or what's the solution to kids that don't stay in school?
So again, we're going to bring it back. Should ICE be allowed to do their job?
Yes, I should be allowed to do their job, but this is not new, where ICE goes into communities to seek illegal immigrants. This has been going on since eons. I think the reality of it is that it's been highlighted, like you said, as a method to create riots or plan riots, whatever it is, to also make it seem like New York is always like this. For example, I work in Manhattan, and to be honest, I've never been part of anything like what you're showing. And I guess I wasn't in Canal Street when this transpired. Mm-hmm. It's an organized way to make us seem like we are against each other. It's kind of propaganda to make us understand that we should be at war with each other. To be honest, I understand that people have issues with immigrants, but
yes. Okay. You went. Your mic muted for a second. Say it again.
I know people have issues with immigrants, but mm-hmm. I'm an immigrant who has been in this country.
You are a what type of immigrant, though?
What?
You are a what type of immigrant? What goes before that immigrant, Odalise?
what goes before at
You
least.
you are a legal immigrant. Yes.
Yeah, I understand that very, very well. But it's very interesting. When I came to this country as a little girl, I was really confused as to why I was any different than any American here. And as a little girl that I spoke Spanish, I wonder why people didn't speak Spanish like me, because I was like, I don't understand why the world doesn't speak Spanish. So my point is that we are all the same people, that at the end of the day, these riots against illegal immigrants are going to translate back to any person of color. And I think it's just a training of the mind to get us ready for a police state, to be honest, because they're creating chaos so that we can be controlled. And it's just.
But who's creating the chaos? This is why I'm both of you guys. So who is creating the chaos? Is it Trump, or is it the blue states that have allowed the system to get like that? So they make Trump have to come in and say, oh, I gotta stomp out the uprising.
Government created the chaos, first of all, by allowing all those illegal immigrants into, number one.
Okay. All right, there we go. We got some. There we go. Say it one more time. Say it with your chest, as they say it. Say it with your chest.
Look, the government has purposely created this chaos, whether it was a democratic or a democratic, whatever.
Democratic.
Government doing it as a way to create chaos and then to find the solution to chaos. That's how I see it. Does Trump have the capability to do what he's doing under the law? Yes, because that is his MO and his ability as president to summon ICE. So he's not doing anything outside the law. Is New York facilitating it for him? I don't really understand the politics of New York to not facilitate it for him, because like I stated, this has been instated in terms of ICE going into states, whether they're blue states, red states, yellow states, whatever they were. It was never something that ICE couldn't do. They were literally in every state before. So why they're being highlighted, why they're being almost targeted by being highlighted at this time, I want to ask the audience to evaluate that, because at the end of the day, I think this is planned chaos all around. That's my assessment.
Okay. All right, Devlin.
I agree with Odalise. I think it's planned chaos.
I know it's hard for you to go on the popo side, bro.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. But I do understand what they're doing, though. It is planned chaos. I do know that. And it was fomented by the Democrats. And I think like a solution is to end all sanctuary city policies, to let these law enforcement work with ICE to get these illegal immigrants deported, and also in all the the resources to the illegal immigrants. Because this is the thing, if this continues the way it is, just let like an ICE officer or whatever, because have you ever heard of the Podesta plan?
Well, tell the people what the Podesta plan.
If you ever heard of the Podesta plan, this is what it's basically talking about what you were saying, like fomenting so much chaos and confusion and violence to where you put like Americans against other Americans, immigrants against other immigrants, and what happens is that everybody starts like killing each other. There's mass violence all over these cities.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what's going to happen, because Stephen Miller already wants it. This dude is living on a military base, because a lot of Trump's other team is on military bases, because people are threatening to kill them and their families.
Yeah, Stephen Miller. Yeah, he owned one.
Right. He already wants Trump to do the Insurrection Act and start arresting these mayors and governors within these sanctuary cities. Mm-hmm. And that is what's coming if this keeps up. He's going to straight up do an Insurrection Act, and he's going to start arresting these people. But
this is the thing, though, is is what the people, are they wrong and they're protesting? That's what I'm saying. Like, are the people giving them a reason and an excuse and reason to be able to do this?
Yes, they are.
Lawfully.
They are. They are giving them a reason to do it. Yes.
See, now this is the thing, and this is why you have to know the law, because when you act out of emotion, which is what most people are doing right now, that's why I call it the Democratic Party, because they're just motion. They have no tactical anything behind their movements. When you lash out like that, yeah, emotion is really strong for a movement. It needs it. However, it needs guidance, organization. Emotion out of just anything is just useless, just raw energy, wasted energy. Emotion without direction is just wasted energy. So this right here, this is what Trump wants. Trump is like, yes, keep it up, yeah. That nigga's back in the nigga stroking his cat, his motherfucking his cat with the what was that? The evil dude. Everybody see Inspector Gadget, the evil motherfucker with the metal hand stroking his cat and shit. That's Trump back there controlling. He's like, hell yeah, go crazy, motherfuckers, because when y'all go crazy, then that allows me to come in and smash out with the popo. Because let me show you what's coming next. Hold on. Let me see if I can take this off the screen. Check this out. Hold on. Why is this doing this? Hold on. For some reason, this is not supposed to. What is going on, man? Hold on. For some reason. Hold on. Yeah. This is insane, yo. So for some reason, when I try to share the screen, it's turning on the actual video. So it's hard for me to share the actual video with you guys. Without actually turning on the oh, this sucks. Hold on. Let's see if I can fix this. God damn. Hold on, guys. This is man, this damn technology. Hold on. I'm not with it, but hold on. Let me see. Let me just drum it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. Sorry, everybody. Here we go. All right. So I did a video on this before about Trump creating reaction force. But check this out. This is just today. This is just yesterday. Well, here we go. Let me share the screen. Oops. All right, here we go. Check this out.
Sees a live look at the White House. All right, our coverage continuing of the Trump administration's policies. A live look at the White House, where it's 10:25 in the nation's capital. One thing I was tracking overnight is this news about the National Guard. They say they're planning to train hundreds of troops in all 50 U.S. states in order to be part of something called a rapid response force. It's going to focus on civil disturbance missions by the start of next year. That's according to two U.S. officials who spoke with Reuters about it this week. This, of course, comes as President Trump has increasingly embraced using the military to support his domestic agenda, including deploying troops to cities like Los Angeles, Portland, Oregon, and Washington, D.C. Quick reaction forces. A lot of questions, a lot of people online asking us what exactly that means. Retired Marine Intelligence Officer, National Security Analyst, and host of the Strat podcast, Hal Kemper, is here. Hal, given that each state's guard force is already, from my understanding, maintaining quick response capabilities for emergencies and other things of that sort, what's changing given the new guidance that's being reported on?
You know, Austin, when this first came out, I had to look at it and I go, is this really something new, or are we just kind of renaming what we already have? The National Guard already has what are called National Guard reaction forces, not quick reaction, but reaction forces. With that said, in the National Guard Bureau's description, it talks about quick response and as part of what they do along with dealing with civil unrest. And with at the Center of Domestic Preparedness, National Guard units undergo a 2-week program of instruction that trains them to do kind of what this unit is actually asked to do. So all of the stuff, all the components are already kind of there already. Now, within each of the 10 regions, the FEMA regions, that's federal FEMA regions across the United States, there's also something the National Guard has called Homeland Response Forces, HRFs, or HRFs, or HRFs, as they call them. I've worked with HRFs for, well, pretty much since the HRFs were originally designed in a variety of exercises all over the country. And they do consequence management. Primarily, we're set up to deal with something dealing in the weapons of mass destruction realm, what we call CBRNE, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, high-yield explosive type events, although they can be used for other things as well. So those are out there as another force. Those are already embedded. So you have 10 FEMA region things. You have all the states and the 4 territories have their forces. And then, of course, there's also a special MP battalion, or battalion minus. It's a force that's in Washington, D.C., which is a federal district. So those are already there. So the question is, are they just renaming what is already there using the original components? And that's why it's not clear. It does sound like they're going to send a lot of gear out to help them to deal with civil unrest, but it's really not clear. It's saying 23,000, but they're not. I didn't see anything that said they're going to add 23,000 troops. It's simply taking existing capabilities and dividing it.
So, so basically, what it is. Oops. So basically, what it is there are 23,000 troops that's supposedly already allocated for this reaction force. So he's using it. He's renaming it to the quick reaction force, right? So quick reaction force, and it'll be 500 troops in each state. So he's just going to redeploy. It's going to be 500 troops each state, or with the federal troops, National Guard. And whenever some stuff pops off, they're going to be able to mash out. So this is what they're saying. This is the groundwork, as Odalise was saying earlier, for the police state. This is this is the laying of the police state. So is this him slowly again? Are the people allowing him to do this, though, by the way they're acting? But as you can see, this is what Odalise, is this what you're talking about, Odalise?
How convenient.
Is this what you meant? We got another person on stage. What up, Ayana? How you doing? So what do you think about Trump's reaction force?
Yo, what up, Million Johnny Cochran crew?
What's going on?
The reaction force. Reaction force, the super force. Super reaction force. They're here to save the day. No.
I ain't asked you to get on stage and start being a comedian, damn it. I ain't asked for Eddie Murphy.
My apologies, but in all honesty, this is a serious matter, and it's very hard for me to really stomach what's going on, because it's almost like a show. I don't want to call it the SHIT show, but it seems like Odalise said it. It's like I'm gonna push the button over here, wait to see what kind of delayed reaction we're gonna get, and then that's gonna allow me to call this martial law, like really go forward with this whole martial law plan. And if they've done one city, they on to 2 cities. Now it's 3 cities. I don't know that this Canal Street incident. Who's to say that wasn't incited? Seriously.
Well, it was it was probably triggered more likely by the dude who did the story. That guy had did a story a couple of weeks earlier. I told you, as I was saying, he got beat up. Him and his cameraman got beat up, and that dude was, he knows Trump personally, so he was like, he's one of the MAGA reporters, but he doesn't go there preaching MAGA. He just goes asking questions. So, but people know him as a person who does support Trump. So when he goes to these places, immediately they just start mashing on him without him doing anything. So when he showed up to the street, Canal Street, he was just asking questions about, where they get their stuff and stuff like that, and how long they be out there. They didn't want him to film, so they was like, "Get out of here, you filming." So he didn't even ask him questions about being illegal immigrants. He was just asking them questions about about how they do their enterprise, quote unquote, enterprise. And the brothers got mad and started smacking him up, and the cameraman. So when that happened, that video went kind of viral, and I'm sure Trump saw it. And this is why you had the raid on Canal Street. So that's the background. Now, just because that's the background doesn't mean that though it was a wrong raid. It was a bad raid. Conceptual Elixirs, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the cash app. Appreciate you, bro. So that doesn't mean, just because it may have been a what's the term? A retaliatory raid, a personally motivated retaliation of a raid, does that mean it was wrong?
It doesn't make it right at all.
But doesn't make it wrong. But doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make it wrong.
I mean,
the brothers beat on. Hey, did the white dude make him? Did the white dude make his brothers beat on him? They could have just picked up their stuff and moved if they didn't want him filming. They just could have been like, "All right, we out." They didn't have to punch the cameraman and throw them all around and throw them on. They didn't have to do none of that. They just could have got up and walked off, couldn't they?
That's true.
So again, does it, just because it's a retaliatory raid doesn't mean it's bad? You said it's not good, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
It's horrible.
It is. All right. She says it's horrible. All right, Devlin.
No, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. I mean, that's karma, right?
I mean, karma is real.
That's right.
People don't get it. Karma is real. That Caucasian dude didn't, even though his presence may have provoked them, he didn't do anything to provoke them, but just be there and show what they were doing. Now, if you don't want somebody to show what you're doing, don't do bad shit. Right. Usually, that's usually the thing. So, all right, he said, I know it's hard for you, Devlin. Y'all don't get it. Devlin hates the Pope. We got some Popo people. We got some Popo non-liking people up in here, y'all. And Devlin is definitely one of them. So if he's coming with this perception of what's going on, hey, Odalise. Hello.
Let me tell you,
Mr. with the pretty smile.
Two wrongs do not make it right, but the last time I checked, the president of the United States is not supposed to be advocating only for his MAGA. He's supposed to be.
Wait a minute. He's not supposed to be what?
Only advocating for MAGA. Does he do that? Does he go after people that attack any other race personally? So there is a little bit of grievance that yes. Does it make it?
I don't think it's MAGA per se. I think it's Caucasian MAGA. I think it's that. I don't think if you attack MAGA, he's gonna be mad. Maybe he will, but I think it's more the Caucasian MAGA.
Therefore, I am totally disqualified because I have a little color in me. But the point is that he's supposed to be my president too, and the president for everyone.
True.
It's not supposed to be that he's supposed to advocate for a white MAGA, whatever FAGA America. It's supposed to be for all. So for him to use my taxpayer dollars to supposedly regulate a situation, I have to pause and say that while they shouldn't have punched this white guy, I wonder what his real motive is to do. Is it really to safeguard all of us, or is it really to show that we're weak as a people? Because a lot of the people that are advocating for immigrants are a little bit dark to me from what I saw. And even the lighter ones would qualify as being mixed, to say the least. In any case, I don't have a definite answer to the question that you're asking. I'll let the people's
Okay, well, I know how it is. I know you know, it's as an immigrant, it's the topic is emotional for you, but you are a legal immigrant.
It's not as I don't like anybody. You don't understand. Well, anyone that gets abused in my presence, whether they have papers or they don't have papers, is not correct. Because like you said, karma comes in many ways. The privilege you have.
So are you saying there should be no consequences to your actions?
Of course there's consequences to your actions. That's what I'm saying. Whether they're different, everything is weighted. And when you're being weighed, it's not because you have papers or you don't, by the way. The universe takes care of all of us gracefully.
Okay. But
yes, I agree.
That's true, but this is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
When again, so when they're doing their job and it looks like they're being cruel, but they're just doing their job, because the job looks cruel, should they stop doing it?
No, they need to do their job. And what I'm saying is that ICE has always existed.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're being televised. This is propaganda. ICE did not stop coming into this.
It is propaganda. The reason it's propaganda, they've admitted it's propaganda. The reason they're televising it is because when Biden was in office, he let in like something like 20 million people. So he wants them to self-deport. That's why he's televising it.
Yes.
So it's more of an intimidation factor. Yeah.
And when ICE was effective in the other years, they were supposed to be discreet because they were supposed to catch you in the act. So the fact that they have ICE all over themselves.
Well, not necessarily. No, ICE has always been able to do what they are doing now. They just were never enforcing it. They've been able to do this for decades.
Yes,
they just never enforced it.
That's what I'm trying to say. They were ICE, but they didn't have ICE all over their chest. The point of being ICE was to completely find the illegal immigrants because you didn't want to go out there to know that you were after them. It was an element of surprise that would catch these illegal immigrants. That's my understanding of being in communities where.
Mm-hmm. But we know the reason for it though is intimidation. They want to intimidate. That's the whole point. Because up to now, 1.2 million people have self-deported. They left. They just up and left. Like, all right, we ain't about to deal with this. We out of here. Salam alaikum. So that's their goal, is to get most of the people to go ahead and leave on their own. And that's what the intimidation. Now we can say that it's wrong and this and that, but if it's hitting its goal of getting people to leave on their own, you know, you have to weigh it. So this is the thing. So we're gonna move on because we have some other topics. But yes, ICE, Trump is using ICE to slowly implement a police state, but it's being allowed by the states and the people who are protesting not following the law. All you have to do is follow the law, and then he can't do anything. But when you don't follow the law, then he can step outside and he can go above and beyond to bring peace back into order. So this is why you have to you have no choice in the future, people. I'm sorry, all you people who watching me and sitting up here, and when you come to the Know Your Rights Foundation, you saying, "Oh, I've been watching you for 5 years and all that." Yeah, you better get your butt up in here. It's at some point in time, it's gonna come back around to you, whether it's not ICE, but the growing police state by the support that Trump is giving the police. At some point in time, it's going to come back around, and you want to be prepared for it. So moving along, though, the other thing that they're doing is voting. This is the other reason that you got to get in. So voting, they're about to cut the voting rights. And hold on, let me see if I can, because this has been the last couple of weeks. So Title II of the Civil Rights Act basically says that they can create zones based off of race. So let's see what they're about. Let's see what's going on. Because the Supreme Court is like, I don't know if that's actually a good thing. Oops, hold on. All right, here we go.
We do start at the Supreme Court and a monumental case that could transform federal elections for decades to come. Arguments are about to wrap up in the case over Louisiana's congressional map and whether the state can draw that map in such a way to ensure that minority voters are fairly represented. The two likely swing votes, Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Brett Kavanaugh, appeared likely, just in the way they were talking and asking questions, to ban states from considering race when drawing district lines. Listen to Justice Kavanaugh in a key moment. He was questioning whether the country still needs that provision of the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
The issue, as you know, is that this court's cases in a variety of contexts have said that race-based remedies are permissible for a period of time, sometimes for a long period of time, decades in some cases, but that they should not be indefinite and should have an endpoint. And what exactly do you think the endpoint should be, or how would we know for the intentional use of race to create districts?
Now, this ruling has the potential to undermine, if not completely overturn, a core provision of the Voting Rights Act intended to ensure Black voters have adequate representation. I'm joined by a terrific group of reporters right now, and David Chalian, I'm going to start with you, and I am going to start by showing our viewers the maps that we're talking about to Louisiana specific. There is the GOP drawn map, which has one majority Black district out of the 6 districts. It combines Baton Rouge and New Orleans into one, and that means that Shreveport, it would be a Republican seat. The current map is what you see on the right. There are 2 majority Black districts out of 6. And what you also need to know is approximately 1/3 of the population of the state of Louisiana is Black. So I want to talk about this, but also, as you do so well, why it matters for the entire country.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can stress the importance of this case enough. And I know there's always danger in reading the tea leaves of oral argument and where a decision will be here. But given that this has been a sort of a John Roberts hobby horse over the years, I think it's pretty safe to imagine where the court may end up here, which is sort of gutting these the portion of the Voting Rights Act that would impact this kind of congressional district drawing. It is not unreasonable, Dana, to say.
Bam. So really quick, hold on. So let me say this. So should the voting right, that act be repealed? That part, should there be any laws based on race at this point in time? And do so-called Black people need that law in order to flourish in today's America? So what say you? I'm going to ask Devlin. What say you, Dev?
I thought about this. I think I think one of the lawyer for the plaintiffs, it was funny, but he was like saying that, hey, if we don't have these this particular law, I mean, like there's not really gonna be black people to be elected here. And I thought about that, and I was like, is this guy? So basically, he was saying that if they didn't have that particular law, that Democrats would not vote for black people, and that was pretty interesting to me because I was like, do they really believe that?
Or black people won't vote for Democrats, you mean?
No, no, like black Democrats that run in these like, cause usually like when a black person gets elected,
Mm-hmm.
it's usually like 60% black people in that particular district or whatever they're running in, and that's how they get elected because it's a majority black district. And what the lawyers were saying is that if it's not a majority black district where it's mostly black people, that white people aren't going to be voting for black people in those particular districts, so black people wouldn't have representation in Congress and all that. That's basically what the argument was. And I thought about that, and I was like, he's basically saying that these Democrats are racist, and they're supposed to be the progressives and all that. But truth be told, you know what, man? I think most of these elections are rigged, to tell you the truth. I don't think we had a clean election in a long time. So, I mean, I think the person wins who they want to win. They select these candidates. So, if they want the black person to win, the black person will win, whether it's a majority black district or a half and half or what have you. I really think that these elections aren't clean. They're trying to clean them up by fixing the voter rolls and all that, and trying to get rid of the mail-in ballots.
But these aren't just for this is. I mean, this is for local and national elections.
Right. Yeah.
So local elections, those things are much less controlled, and the people of the communities, if you're able to mobilize, you can control what happens in your community much more so than you do nationally as far as elections. So I agree with you as far as elections there, but even nationally, it takes so much to change the election as far as, and this is what I mean, like before, I'll say this, in the past, elections were allegedly controlled by basically if you were your race, but also we've come to find out that it was controlled by your lineage. Like most people who have been president have been related. Like it's crazy. Like all cousins. Even Hillary and Trump are cousins. Yo, somebody's mic is open. So even Hillary and Trump are cousins. Now, having said that, Trump though is a disruptor, and when Trump got in office, I don't think I don't think that one was rigged. That threw everything off. That was the one that threw everything off. Then when Biden came back in, that one was rigged. The Biden one was rigged, and then this one recently, I think, was definitely rigged by the Khazars to help get Trump in so that they could push their agenda. So as far as the elections being rigged nationally, I definitely agree with you on that end for the most part, except probably for the 2016. But locally, this is a lot of what this stuff is for locally. So, should there be race-based voting laws in America at this point? Because in the 60s, they were trying to rebalance, what was unbalanced by segregation and all the rest of that, Jim Crow segregation, all that. So they were like, all right, we gotta give the melanated people the black people some leeway. We got to give them here. We got to give them this here. We got to give them that there. But that was in the 50s. So, 50s, 60s. So now, is it needed now with all the opportunity that melanated people have in America today, black people have in America today? Is this law still needed? Odalise?
Absolutely not. I think it's counterproductive. I think that is the politics way of reminding us that we need help. In my assessment, when we're gods, our greatness does not have to be defined by a political assessment. It comes from within ourselves. And Obama, if anything, reminded us that, we don't have to restructure anything, because you can win when you claim to be outstanding, whether you're an orator or whatever you do in your field that's amazing. If you find your skill set, I think this whole idea of race and civil rights to a certain extent has to be reevaluated, because if you look at what is done, it's not like we have evolved as a people anyway. I think to a certain extent, it makes us feel that we are less than. It doesn't empower us. It actually dispowers us in the scope of things. But that's just me.
All right. Ayana? Ayana?
I had to triple mute it.
All right, there you go.
So, my lawmates know how I feel about the 15th Amendment. The fact that we want the question or the spotlight is about a particular part of it even proves my point even more, that it's just totally asinine. It's ridiculous, because y'all know that the 15th Amendment, when it was put into motion, it was given an expiration date. People, let's stop right there. That was in 1960. When it was enacted with an expiration date. If you look at, I have some footage. If you look at Martin Luther King's case and Lyndon B. Johnson, when he was signing that executive order for this voters' right, this civil act right movement, it's like everyone in the room is smiling and they're full of glee, except for Martin Luther King and Lyndon B. Johnson. They had this look on their faces. Martin Luther King looked like he's seen a ghost, and Lyndon B. Johnson looked like, it's out of my hands. It's totally out of my hands. And so I say that because when you play with a person's livelihood and their life and their legacy, and you know that it's all or nothing for them, it means everything for them. And behind their back, you secretly in the room with a whole group of people, and y'all putting expiration dates on people's. It's just ridiculous. I don't believe that. I'm sorry.
No, keep going. So should there be?
The whole thing needs to be done away with. I may not agree with Trump's methods. I may not even agree with maybe, this or that. But the fact that he knows that this is not right, the fact that he knows certain things about this country, I'm not going to get off the question, but there's other things that he's undoing that the public has a problem with, and media is having a field day with it, kind of twisting the variation or the truth or the purpose behind it all, when it really, if it's wrong from the beginning and it needs to be shut down, people, that I believe that's what's wrong with this country, period. We are all under the tutelage of these silly separatory restrictions. All of us have this arrested development. No one is able to really truly be free because we're all under the tutelage of this game. And it's chess. It's not checkers, it's chess.
Pisces, stick to the goddamn topic. Goddamn Pisces all over the goddamn place.
I'm so sensitive about the 15th Amendment.
Pisces, damn. All over the goddamn place. Zeph. Zeph has joined the stage once again. What up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Kev? How
What's
you
up,
doing,
brother?
man?
What's up, dog? How you
I'm
feeling?
all right. Greetings to everybody on the channel right now that's tuning in.
So should we have race-based laws now? They were needed back in the day, but do we need them today?
Well, I'm gonna come from. I might be a little out of my bounds, based on the fact that it's a lot of information that I don't have. Just like within the laws and back in the day. So I'm just coming from like a perspective point of view once again. But I think we always had race-based laws, and even if they wasn't necessarily titled race-based laws, it was still laws that was being used to affect different groups of people differently. But it just didn't necessarily have like a title of a specific race in it to where you would know exactly what what it was for, but I think a lot of people up there got different agendas, and I don't think it's as black and white as we think it is. Like, blaming one political person and a party for a lot of the stuff that's going on, I think you got to look into it a lot deeper because it's so many different like moving factors. You got probably so many representatives, so many senators, so many judges, and everybody's like putting in their own perspective on how stuff should be. So I can't like just go and say this one person did this because it's just so much going on and that we don't really know about either. So I think we should just really focus on bless you. I think we should well, I thought I heard a sneeze. I don't know, I might be wrong, but bless y'all
That's
anyway.
cool. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
But I think we should really just focus on building ourselves up, like what you're doing with KYRF, and just getting as much information as possible as we can, and reaching out to people that got the information that we need to do better and be better. And I'm not really into the blame game, but at the same time, I think a lot of people, they don't necessarily blame, or they're looking for like help. They really just want to acknowledge what's going on just so people know, but at the same time they're still trying to do for their self. So just like the Reconstruction era, the melanated people of the country, they was doing so great as soon as they had just a little bit of opportunity. So for us to be not doing as great, supposedly, by the statistics, I think it's stuff that's going on that has been directed to make sure that people don't get to where they want to get to. But I say this closing out though, that you're always gonna have people on the top and you're always gonna have people at the bottom. The way that and I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but the way that the world is, period, is somebody has to be the one getting um the better end of what's going on, and somebody always has to be the one on the bottom. Like if you got a company, you got to have people that work for you, and the company's never gonna work if everybody's getting paid the same. And it just don't work like that. Like somebody has to do the groundwork, somebody does the work in the middle, and somebody got to
Right.
run it from the top.
There's there's always a social stratus to society, and
Exactly.
it's always gonna be people at the top and the bottom.
Exactly, and I think we should just focus on being the people at the top, not complaining, and once
But
again, I don't think a
you
lot
need
of
knowledge for that. You can't be at the top without information. You can't.
no, that's true. That's true. That's definitely true. And I don't, like I said, I don't think a lot of our people really complain. Like I really think we just say things so people could know what's going on and acknowledge what's going on. But at the same time, I don't think we should focus on like necessarily what are other people trying to do to us. I think we should focus more on what we could do to get to the top. Because like you said, America, I don't think it's the best country, but I think it has the best opportunities out of any country. I think we had the best potential to get to where we want to be out of any country. Just the way that, there's only 2 countries in the world where you're allowed to have a weapon, and that's Yemen and America. And you can see what's
All
going
right.
on in Yemen. So, it's just the way that the whole system is set up. And I think a lot of our people is actually the reason why, it's set up in a certain way. But I just think we got shut out of, like what you said, the information to actually get to the top. We just got to focus on running the company. Because you said,
All right, all right, look, are you Pisces like Ayana? Because boy, I asked you one simple goddamn question, and your ass don't make me get real Nagas up in here. This is LawCast. Y'all gonna make me go to real Nagas and start clowning people up in here. Answer a simple damn question without taking me through your dissertation through college. Well, look here, Your Honor. Let me tell you something. When I was first off, when I became black, I used to say, when I became black, I wanted to vote just like everybody else when I became black. But you know what I'm saying? It was all these laws that had prevented me from being black. Boy, if you don't get look here. God damn it. Ask you a simple question about voting laws and voting laws for race-based voting laws. That's either a yes with a succinct answer. You two, y'all be taking.
Oh no, I don't. In my opinion, I don't think it should be any race-based laws. I think.
All right.
Nah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. See how quick that was? No, I'm just messing with you, man. Hey, I gotta be me, damn it. Hey, look here. LawCast. you know who up in here.
Oh no, I respect it, man. I respect it. I appreciate your thought. My fault, dog.
I'm just messing. I gotta mess with people. But so real quick, and so before we move on to the next topic. So it hasn't been ruled on yet. They're still ruling on it. Obviously, Clarence Thomas, he came out with the hell yeah, get rid of it. So Clarence Thomas is on the we need to get rid of it side of the game. And he's not necessarily wrong. Again, when you have something, this is more like a hold on, let me mute your mic, bro. So this was more like hold on. Let me see if I can. So this was more like when they first created it, it was a mulligan, like a do-over, get back. But at some point in time, when you get a head start, you can't keep getting the head start once you're in the race. You're fully in the race. You've gained your position in the race. Now, whether you've taken advantage of the head start or not, that's on you. But after your head start and you've entered the race and you're fully running in the race, you've gained a position, whether it's at the lead, in the middle, or at the back. But you did get in the race. You're whatever position, how you started off, that advantage allowed you to be in the race fully with everyone else. Now, at that point, it's up to you if you've taken advantage of it or not. So at this point in time, after you've had a so-called black president, there's no more room for that law anymore, because it was based on equality, that you don't have any equality in voting. When you get a black president, that goes all out of the window. Now, again, the law being based on race, So once you get, again, you're applying this term, you're applying this whole concept of race. Once you get a race-based president in office now that law has to cease to exist, because now everybody's back on the same playing field. Once you got one of your people in office, in the highest office in the land, now you can't say you work at a disadvantage anymore. All right, everybody back to their positions. Boom, go. Now, some people will say, well, the system, there's still systemic racism. And what most people think is systemic racism, which probably was that back in the day, meaning systemic, meaning it's on purpose. They purposely keep you down in the system. more so today, it's more like unconscious bias. Whereas, you know, back in the day, like, oh, this black person will never get up to the top of my company. No black person ever will be. You'll never be a black mother. You black mother. Get your ass back to the mailroom, you black mother. So back in the day, it was like that. Now it's not necessarily like that. When you get hired or you don't get hired, it's more in majority of the time is Caucasian people in these positions. It's conscious bias or unconscious bias. Let me say unconscious bias, because you just usually choose the people that you're around, that you are comfortable around. So if I'm in a position of power, usually I'm just going to hire somebody who I feel comfortable around in that position. And most Caucasian people, they don't get out of their comfort zone and hang around melanated people. They're not forced to. See, they're not forced to hang with melanated people, whereas melanated people, we're much more comfortable around Caucasian people because we're forced to be around them because they have all the jobs and the positions and all the rest of that. So we have to be around them. And in that, we learn, their culture. And, and that's what they call the code switching and all the rest of that. But going back to the law being based on you getting ahead or you getting even in the system because you were held back because of your race, at this point in time, there's nothing that you can say about your race that holds you back today. You can try to say that, like all these Democrats that are in power now try to say that black people is black people that, no, they don't give us that. No. But you have all these melanated people in power who don't do anything to help melanated people. They just stay in power and tell you how much power you don't have. While they're still in power, they just keep telling you how much power you don't have and how much we need to do. We got to do this. This is Hakeem Jerry. We need to do, we got to do, we have to do, we must do, and never do anything. So the other side of that is the fact where they say that the fact that the Democrats are the ones pushing against the law being taken out, meaning that when the law was created, there was an assumption that all black people, so-called black people, would be voting Democratic, right? This is why this is the whole assumption that most black, and it's a good assumption because 90-something% of black, and this is back in the day. Now it's like more like 80%, but now it was like 90-something, 95% of melanated people voted Democratic. So, but that's not a proper assumption to just assume that most black people are going to vote Democratic. So the district needs to be drawn around their race because it's going to give Democrats a leg up. That's a messed up assumption to think that all black people think the same. This is where we are, because to have that type of law says that all black people think and vote the same, and that they're dumb and they don't vote on issues, that they only vote based on race. So the very fact that the law exists implies that black people are stupid. So what do y'all say to that? Odalise?
I agree. I think it's condescending, to be honest.
Very condescending. There you go. That's the great word. That's the word I'm looking for. Ayana?
I concur with my lawmates, Louise, and you as well. Absolutely condescending, and all those other lovely words I used earlier.
Everybody agreed with you, though. You see the chat; they was agreeing with you. I put it up there. They like, "Yep." Devlin?
Yes, I agree with that message.
You agree with that? All right. Now when I was clowning y'all, I didn't mean to give for y'all to give one word answers. Damn. The baby clown y'all start giving yep. No, we too stiff. Y'all shell shot now, goddamn. Y'all funny.
I got a question, Kev. What's the remedy? At this
Hold on
point?
one second. Hold on. We got some. Hold on real quick before you ask your question. We got somebody else. Gerald. We got Gerald coming to the stage. What's up, brother? You're muted. We can't hear you.
You can't hear me now?
Oh yeah,
Test.
now we can hear you. What's up, brother?
Not too much, man. I did buy your book. I'm glad to be up here. And to that question you asked, hell yeah, they stupid. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, they stupid. I have not seen so much of some comedy. Like, how you gonna steal and then snitch on social media? Jesus Lamar Christ. I didn't know that Jesus Christ had a middle name. Jesus Lamar
Jesus Lamar
Christ.
Christ. He said Jesus Lamar Christ. So,
But Kev, listen, I'm older than dirt, so I'm 68. I see, Kev, I'm serious. I seen the change because when I came up, a brother owned a pharmacy, ice cream parlor. I seen brother Dennis because my cousin was a dentist, looked just like me. So I seen a piece of the Black Wall Street. I also seen when they came in and changed the wealth. I am not a MLK fan, never will be. Why? Because I guess their restaurants was better than ours. I'm sorry. I went to this mom and pop burger joint. Y'all listen, they cheeseburger was off the change. I can still taste it from the 60s. It was so pure and good.
He said I can still taste it from the 60s, dog.
From the 60s. Listen. Kev, there was no such thing as McDonald's.
Right.
That's how I earned this gray hair. I earned this shit. But for to see how the people act, Tupac was right. The only thing that frightens me is that this source of life say you got to go back and do it again. I be damned. No. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I am scared of the generation of all cultures. Me being from Louisiana, living in Canada, to see what the youth are doing. No, man, I can't do it no more. I just
in Canada? Yep, out in Canada?
Dude, listen, but you got to understand, America is the blueprint for Canada. Remember, y'all, I am so old that trans and gender was not a word.
That's right. It was transsexual back in the day.
It wasn't even transsexual. It's transfer to get on the bus. It was.
Hey, that's real. You're right. The transfer. That was the first train
to get on the bus, y'all. So,
50 cents.
So for me to see a 6'3" guy that looked like he need to be playing outside linebacker and he got on the dress, I have to check myself because I'm only 5'10" and I can't beat this dude up. And at the end of the day, he's still a man. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna respect him. How you doing? What's up, man? How's your day going? I play chess. Like the young lady said, Trump is playing chess. He's not playing checkers.
Right.
He's not playing. So my thing is, all you got to do is get away from Snap and go to the WIC, because the fact is that these people who are in power have played us. The number one thing they use was religion.
Absolutely, man. Hey, that's what's up, brother. Hey, man, look here. Let me say this. As far as this race based, because we have some couple other topics also to get to before we get out of here. But as far as race based laws, you're not going to win on that. So how they're going at this, the way they're coming at this is let me mute your mic real quick. The way they're coming at this is the 14th Amendment. So back in when they created the Constitution or the Civil Rights Act, they actually created it antithetical to the 14th Amendment, because there are supposed to be no laws based on or discriminatory laws, right? So you can't create a law against someone based off of their identity, race, religion, or whatever, but you also can't create laws for someone based on their race, religion, identity, all the rest of that, right? So when that happened, that's what they did. So this is why it looks like most likely it's going to be voted out, because it does go against the 14th Amendment. in the Constitution. So now even 14th Amendment, that's a whole nother topic. But just assuming, just us acting like it's a real amendment, because if you really do the study on the 14th Amendment, it's not really ratified. However, let's just act like it is. Going with the 14th Amendment, this is what they're going to do. This is what they're going to throw it away on. Now, how do we act after that? Now, once you get race-based voting out of America, what happens after that? Because melanated people think they needed this in order to gain voting power, to gain some type of power. Now, what will come of this when they get rid of it? Will melanated people be forced to vote on issues now instead of race? Zeph, you didn't get in there. Zeph, what'd you say, Zeph?
Oh, you got me scared now, cuz.
I'm just messing with you. Hey, go ahead, bro. I'm just messing with you.
I'm not yeah, I don't think we should accept anything like race based, because that's basically saying like we a weaker people and we need like this extra help to get up and stuff like that. I think when they take it all away, it'll just show everybody how strong we are, because we'll just find out another way to basically get to what we try and get to. So I don't.
It'll basically force us to be to straighten up within the system. Is that?
Yeah, basically like be more financially stable and stuff. Because I honestly think a lot of the stuff is a hindrance that they give people, because it makes a lot of us not work as hard as we would work, because we feel like, oh, we could just use this, kind of like what they did with
It's a
welfare and
crutch.
stuff like that.
It's a crutch.
Yeah, exactly. And when you got a crutch, you don't really want to. You're not really trying to walk for real. You like, nah, I'm gonna just lean on this crutch.
I'm gonna get this limp on, this crip lip. My crip walk on.
So nah, let them take it away, because that other people don't respect us because of it also. You know what I mean? Because like it was this one lady talking that she was in the army and stuff, and like some of the army veterans and stuff didn't respect her, and she was a European woman, but they didn't really respect a lot of the black army people either, because they got there supposedly from DEI or whatever the case may be, so they felt like they didn't work as hard to achieve the same type of rank. So take it all away. So when we do get to where we get to, they know that we got there because
it wasn't because of privilege, right? It wasn't because of privilege or an advantage. All right, that's what's up.
Exactly. We don't need it, man. Like we way more capable than we think we are. And just to let everybody know, I care about all people. You know what I mean? But I do have a certain extra care for my reflection. So I just want to say, we don't need none of that. Like, and we're gonna get to where we try and get to.
All right, thank you, brother. All right, thank you, Gerald. What say you, bro?
Unmute my mic. You know what? I'm old. I have no answers. I just
you got it. That's what I'm saying. You got a different perspective on. You got a much longer perspective on this than we do.
Well, see, now that I'm in Canada, the one thing I noticed that doesn't work is color. It's just like you do right and wrong. I'm up here with people from Afghan, Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan, anybody can stand. It's just they from everywhere. Anybody can stand. They from everywhere. So the one thing when my friends was calling me on podcasts, I said, that black and white shit don't work up here. I said, why? Because people are from everywhere. This is an extremely diverse place. But the most amazing thing is that this world knows who we are. One, we ain't colored. We ain't Negro. Even Adolf Hitler spoke of us, y'all. He said, you got God's jewels over there. So, wait, hold up. Adolf Hitler supposed to be the most racist? No, excuse me, Kevin. Not racist, because racist is a new word. I grew up with the word prejudice. Racist is like, I'm running. So I'm sorry, y'all. I love y'all. Y'all the new school, but sometimes I sit my black ass in the back of this class because I be like, let me just walk out. I gotta walk out because this new shit. It's like I understand what they doing to us. Now you saying that I'm black? Wait a minute. The remote control is black, but if you look at my skin, it's brown, and on some days it's ashy brown.
There
I
you
gotta,
go. You
get
said,
the shea
wait,
butter.
you better get to that you better get to that Jergens, bro. you better get to that cocoa butter, bro. What you doing?
So that shea butter, dog. I love that shea butter, man. I'm on
All
that
right,
shea
that's what's
butter.
up. Hey, all right, shea butter.
You know. So when I look at this, I get so frustrated. I say, you know what? Let me just get off podcast. Let me go sit my ass in the corner and play the tank game, or just, I'm an old man. I love my video games too. I'm old. I like my video games. Can't shoot the basketball no more. So I just forget it. Just I'm outdated. Oh, you old?
No, you ain't, man. Stop talking. Stop telling your body. Stop telling yourself
But
that.
you're right. You're right.
Put energy out into the universe about yourself. You're not old. You got
You're
wisdom.
right. You're right. You're right. Because Kevin, I literally now hug the tree. I literally now had to learn to say, I am a master. I am a master of my mind and my thoughts. So I'm going there. I'm out of this religious shit because I understand it. And the first question you was asking about the race laws, man, get rid of that shit. Either you're doing good or you're doing bad, because all the stab wounds in my back come from people who look like me.
Boy, trying to tell you. Thank you, brother.
And anybody who grabbed my hand to help me, it looked like somebody else from another culture. And I can hear the universe be laughing like, yeah. As Parliament say, the bigger the headache, the bigger the pill. I said, I'm done, man. Hate, I just bottled this shit up and threw it away. I'm done. It's like a very confused world. But
and like this comment just told you, how old you are is in your head, man. You said you're young and vibrant. Yeah, that's right. Let them know.
True. Yeah,
appreciate you. Hey, Devlin. So we gotta get Devlin in here, and Odalise and Ayana. Devlin, what say you, bro?
If they do happen to get rid of the law, I think that that we will start voting on issues more than a party. I think it's going to force people to work together, and I think the politicians, the Republicans and the Democrats, is going to force them to compete for the vote, and also force the people to learn more about the system. They'll be more civically engaged, so I think it'll have a positive effect, basically.
Okay, thank you, brother. Odalise, what you think?
I am concurring with everything that everyone has said. Very simply, the only race we're part of is the human race. And the fact that we've taken race and created a division is not serving any of us. And in reference to voting, we would definitely vote more on issues and not based on the person's skin tone. And I think it's a big issue in the United States. And the race issue has not helped the conversation move forward. It has actually detracted our ability to be in the highest position possible. And that's it.
All right. So everybody, all right, Ayana, you agree? Everybody seems to be on the same page. No race based, no race based vote. None. What you say? But what will it
We
do?
all concur.
If they take it away? If they take it away, what will it do to melanated people? Would it force us to get on our game?
It would force us to truly realize who we are, and that you are not a color in a crayon box, and that you are
Shout out to
so
Taj
much
Tariq Bey.
Yes, you are so much more. So I think that it's time. This is the age of Aquarius. I heard that we are in the golden age as well. So this is time for us to enlighten ourselves, and perhaps all of this, it appears to be not good, or maybe even catastrophic for some people in their made up realities. But perhaps this needed to happen so that we can move forward as a people. Why are we the only ones that seem to be in such a a disruptive state, and it's hard for us to come together and, you know, move for all the other so-called races. They get together and they build empires, but
That's
we
true.
sitting over here, you know, we can't figure it out.
There are a few
So it's
psyops in our community trying pushing this, you know, distress and strife and you know, confusion between the people. So there, there are a few psyops in our community that are adding to the, you know,
they're gonna be sad, but it's
true.
time.
So
We're
let me
moving
say this
on,
though.
y'all.
Let me say this: melanated people. Now, depending on how you are in the system, if you choose, you know, if you choose to be within the system or not. But if you're going to be in the system, you got to use the system. You got to learn it, and you know, master it, take advantage of it, learn the loopholes in it, because it's really the only system that you got. Unless you understand, unless you plan on taking this system down and creating a whole new system, this is the system you're in right now. So, and any judge will tell you ignorance of the law is no excuse. So, but unless you're a police officer, let me back that up. Unless you're a police officers are the only people allowed not to know their job and still get off. But as far as you though, no, you have to know the law. If you break the law and you didn't know it, oh well, you should know next time. So this is why they're, you know, they'll tell you when you go to court, there's very little leeway when you break laws, because they'll say, well, you should have known. It's public law, it's posted, you should know. You have a constitution, you were in school, blah 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 blah. Right now, melanated people are new into the system, you know, with the integration, you know, from segregation to integration. And when you first get into a system, you're not going to know how to take advantage of that system. You're just, when you get into a house, you just filling the house out. You don't know you don't know the ins and outs of the house and how, you know, what rooms are stay cool, what rooms are warm, you know, where the squeaky board is in the house. You don't know which door creaks or whatever. You don't know any of that. All the nuances of the house. You don't know that. It takes you a minute to do that. So this is what melanated people have been doing since getting into the system, learning the nooks and crannies. However, that's fell through, because at this point, we still don't know how the house works. Right? Still don't know how the house works. So I would say this to melanated people. This is your best bet. And this is what you should have been on the whole time. Most melanated people in America should be independent. That's what you should be, period, as far in the universe anyway. You should never be polarized. This is universal law. But as above, so below. So that means whatever works on the macro scale, it works on the micro scale and vice versa. So if the universe is balanced, because that's what the universe constantly works for. If there's an imbalance in the universe, it'll work the opposite energy to balance it out. This is why you see a whole lot of feminine energy in the world right now in America, because it's been dominated by male energy. So the universe is trying to balance it out. Now, it's going to the extreme to try to balance it out, which eventually, so you had it this way, now it's kind of tipping this way. Eventually it'll come back to where it evens out. But this is kind of what has to happen in the universe. And so as an independent, if you notice each year, each voting round, every time the voting thing comes around, who do they cater to the most? The independent people. They don't give a damn about the Republicans, all the Republicans on one side, all the Democrats on one side. They know they got those in the voting bag. The people who they cater to the most are the independents. And that's what you should be. You should never be rooted in an idea, so rooted in an idea that if somebody brought you information that idea is not good, that you can't move away from it. But this is where this is the party system. No matter what new information the party assimilates, if it's good or bad, they don't move. Especially if it's bad, they'll still stay on it. And you'll never flourish that way. So melanated peoples, the way you're out of the bullshit is to be independent. And if you understand what that means, you should be the biggest independent party in America. That's how you're going to gain power, is to be is every time they need something from you, each polarized side needs something, they're going to have to come to you to get it. And then in doing so, they have to promise you something. They have to give you, this is what the independent party gets right now. They get catered to, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, boom, boom, boom. Every time, just look at it. Every time a politician has to run for office, whether they're Democrat or Republican, they always have to slide back to the middle and say, well, I'm center left or I'm center right. Why? Because the center is what matters. The middle, the center point, 0 point is what the universe is birthed out of, the 0 point. So it obviously equates in law and for you as well. So this is what we need to be doing as far as melanated people in America. But let me show you this real quick. We got a couple of more stories to get to. This is about Trump coming into the communities. Everybody doesn't want Trump to come into the communities, but when you have stuff like this going on, should this happen? Check this out.
Of Dearborn and Division over fight at a nearby bar. Dozens of Samantha and Val, Alderman Brian Hopkins tells me this morning the shooting allegedly stemmed from a fight at a nearby bar. Dozens of gunshots were fired right by the intersection of Division and Dearborn here in the city's Gold Coast neighborhood. And now the alderman says he's taking action following the overnight violence. Chaos in Gold Coast. 22 West.
So this is right after they protested not to have Trump coming to Chicago. This happened like 2 days after that. This is 4 people shot outside of a club.
Division, 4 people shot. As more than 30 gunshots ring out near the busy late-night intersection of Dearborn and Division overnight. Investigators say 4 people, ranging in age from 22 to 60, were hit in the gunfire fired from nearby cars. All of the victims are expected to be okay, but the brazen violence springing neighbors out of bed.
We hear gunfire in this neighborhood frequently, mostly people leaving bars, fighting with each other.
There's a real problem happening here on Division Street.
Second Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins says 2 of the victims shot are security guards who were working at the time for a nearby bar. Hopkins says the shooting stemmed from fights that allegedly broke out last night at Gold Coast Social, a nearby nightclub. He says this isn't the first time problems have erupted there, prompting him to now take action.
I have requested a summary closure. I've already been in touch with Superintendent Snelling's office to let him know that this written request would be forthcoming.
We reached out to Gold Coast Social for comment, but have not heard back. Hopkins also says at least one of the people shot last night, a woman, may have been caught up in some sort of fight at the bar, though this morning it's still unclear what fueled these alleged fights in the first place. He says police officers were already on scene before, given the busy night.
So that's why this is a story. He says police officers were already on scene before it happened. 30 officers were outside. That's why we're watching this story. 4 people shot in Chicago. Is that news? No, not really, because like 40-something people were just shot this week in Chicago, which is crazy. But they don't want Trump there. But this story is important because there were 30 police officers outside in the area. And these people, and they still rolled up and shot up the club. But there doesn't need to be any police force or any police presence in Chicago. What do y'all think? What say you people? What say you about the? You go ahead, Gerald.
Okay. But can't remember, I'm from Louisiana.
Okay, all right, that's right.
Yeah. So remember, Harriet Tubman's cousin, Belford Tubman, came and got me and said, "You got to get out. Let's go. You can't stay." So look, let's play some espionage. So you gonna tell me in Chicago with 30 people around, all of a sudden some random dudes rolled up?
Mm-hmm. That's what they say. That's what they say.
That's what they say. Okay, here's what I think. I know who's in power. The media probably spent that. The people who spent on that club might have been the popos themselves in disguise. They did the same thing with the gangs in California. Remember, I like applying chess to life. You just not gonna piss on me and tell me it's raining. Wait, man, you just pissed on me. It ain't raining. So I don't believe the George Soros's network. I'm always putting things in like Ain't no way. Because let me put myself in that position. And my boy say, yo, we gonna spin the blocks. Don't y'all see them 30 ass cops? How about 15? We ain't finna spin nowhere. Turn this ride. Let's go the other damn way. And I'm gonna pull it on them. I said what I said. Let's go. We'll come back another day. But we're not doing this shit now. You're just not gonna give me the AI narrative. That's what I say. Sorry.
Okay.
That's
All
how
right.
I am. Next.
He thinks it was engineered. It was the po themselves, maybe. Odalise, what you think? As one of the most popo hating people in the room. What say you? We can't hear you. You gotta unmute.
I'm not. Oh,
There you go. Yeah.
I'm not gonna take the fifth on that one because definitely they should all be fired because if they're incapable of doing their jobs.
The police officers should be fired.
Yes, because they can't do anything about something that happened. Either they're a part of it.
Well, the police. Brandon Johnson is giving them a stand down order.
But they have a job to do. The last time
But they're supposed to, right? And they want to do the job, but Brandon Johnson told them not to do the job.
well, then they need to all resign because if I have a duty to a function and I can't do that function, then they should not be calling themselves police officers. Number one, and number two, then they should lose their qualifying immunity because it should go the other way around. Because at the end of the day, if they're there to be they're not there to protect the people, but they're there to basically protect your constitutional rights.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not doing anything because someone is telling you not to.
It's the boss. It's their boss telling them don't do it. So if they don't do it, they're getting fired and no rent. No Roger, no rerun, no rent. So if you don't, so again, they're in a dilemma. What do? And they don't want to do it. They're all when they get off duty, they're all talking about how bad it is, how bad all of them feel that they can't do their job. But Brandon Johnson won't let them do their job.
And shit between all of
Why
us.
is it bullshit? Why is it bullshit?
You mean to tell me that I am gonna basically be a police officer and I'm here to do my job and my boss is telling me
The mayor, which is basically the president of the city, he's the president.
Yes.
So if the president tell you to stand down, what you gonna do?
we should resign en masse then. Say we're not capable of being who we say that we're supposed to be.
You think they should resign if they got babies and rent? Is that a feasible thing to do for your principles?
No, okay, so then
you go tell your baby he ain't getting fed because your principles is what's there. Eat my principles.
my job and you fire me then and see if I don't have a lawsuit.
Okay. All right. Well, you do your job and then make them fire you. Okay. But if you do get fired, you're still going to have to tell your baby we eating barbecue covered principles tonight. We eating fettuccine principles, fettuccine Alfredo principles tonight.
The mayor is governed by the people. Also back to the people that they need to stand up and hold these people in position accountable.
That's true, but that's why Trump is like, I need to get in there because Chicago's being run like a damn cartoon, like a cartoon show right now. That's his whole point.
That's my point, is that the people should stand up for themselves and hold the mayor accountable for what he's doing.
But what he's doing is he's getting out there and he's doing these racial rants saying that Trump is only there to take out black people, black and brown people. So this is how he's getting. So the way he's getting around them being upset about it is he's countering it with racist rants, saying that Trump only wants to come in and take out black people and brown people. So then when he does that, he obfuscates and he smoke screens like that, then you don't really know what's going on because he's getting the people emotional. And most people, for the most part, are emotional. So if you can tap them in the emotional, you can hit them in the emotional gut, then you can move them.
Well, my theory is that he is with Trump because ignorance of law and ignorance of knowledge is no excuse. So I think that is the opposite. I think he's ensuring that Trump does come in. That's what I.
That's now, there you go. He doesn't get this, but he is ensuring that Trump will come in because, hold on, we got a couple of other things real quick. Let me see. So, check this out. Because they tried to stop him.
Breaking news this afternoon, a federal appeals court has denied a request from the Trump administration on the National Guard in Illinois. Last week, a federal judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking the deployment of troops here. The Trump administration requested a stay of the court order as they appeal the ruling. But today, the appeals court is leaving that order in place, meaning the National Guard cannot be deployed for now.
So that was then. So they're fighting back with that. But then Trump did this. He was like, all right, well, you know, this is basically what he wants the whole time. So check this out.
To allow the deployment of National Guard. More breaking news right now. The Trump administration has asked the Supreme Court to allow the deployment of National Guard troops in the Chicago area. For more on this, we are joined live now with our legal analyst, Irv Miller. So, Irv, this is an emergency appeal, and so far this case has worked its way up through the lower federal courts. Did you expect it to eventually get to the Supreme Court?
Absolutely. There was no question that from day one that the federal government was going to take this from the district court, the Seventh Circuit, and then eventually to the United States Supreme Court, which they've just done within the last hour.
So how often is it that the Supreme Court would weigh in on issues of national emergencies, national security? Do you think that this is something that's quite rare?
You know, I think in this particular case, it's somewhat unique because we have conflicting decisions between the Seventh Circuit here in Chicago and actually an appellate court out in California. That's the type of case they will readily take. And I suspect they will issue some order either affirming the Seventh Circuit and allowing Judge Perry's order to stand, stopping the National Guard from deploying, or the opposite of that. But I think they will make a decision on this particular case because of the split in the circuits.
Yeah, I know you were talking about it could go either way, but considering the makeup of the court right now, the conservative majority in many cases have ruled in favor of Trump in other issues. Do you think it's more likely that they would allow him to deploy troops?
You know, I think it's an even question right now. And you have to understand one other factor is that the one Supreme Court justice is like in charge of the Seventh Circuit. And that justice on the Supreme Court right now is Amy Coney Barrett, whom Trump appointed. I suspect when she reads this, she will not make a decision herself. I think she will refer to the entire court. And the government, the federal government, is asking that there be an administrative stay. In other words, just make a decision without hearing from the other side. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll give the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago time to respond. And then there may be a ruling on an emergency situation. But I suspect you may not get a unanimous decision. I would be surprised, as you suggested, but I think you're going to see in a case like this, you're going to see dissents as well as concurring opinions. I don't think all seven will agree.
So if Trump gets this done, he'll be able to deploy National Guards in all states. So this is important. If this ruling comes through, this means Trump can deploy National Guard in all states. This goes back to what we just saw before, the reaction force. He changed it to the quick reaction force, right? So if that happens, then he can deploy that quick reaction force in the cities when there's a perceived insurrection. And so again, he's classified Antifa as domestic terrorist. So now that means anybody who protests and they look like they're Antifa, he can smash on them. Is this the coming of the police state? Everybody, you don't have to just you can go around to give your quick answers. Odalise?
It's been done in history before. That's why the presidents choose people that are going to be in the Supreme Court. So when they want to act like the Wild Wild West, they get the branch of government. It happens to be the Supreme Court. But yes, if it happens, that means that have used the law in his favor, and he'll be able to access it.
Okay, well, remember now he didn't do this. This is Chicago tripping.
I think that it, with the help of his so-called against him.
Now wait a minute. Now remember, you just said police need to do their job in Chicago.
She did.
Now they won't. Now the mayor won't let the police do their job in Chicago. So if the mayor won't let the police do the mayor and the governor won't let police in Chicago, in Illinois, do their job. So what is left for the people who don't want to be involved in crime, who don't want to be the recipients, the victims of crime?
First of all, if a reasonable person in this society says, I'm not going to do my job because my boss and not to do it, think you're not going to get fired? So why is it that in levels of governments, we have this ignorance of idea that it functions any differently? This is all plot. It's all basically engineer. Whether the cops are the ones that did the firing of the shots, or whether they're standing down. I think this is all a planned action to have a police state and to have it certified in a way that he's not going to have any more pushback. Because once this goes through, it's free range for Mr. Orange Man Trump.
All right. Sator, there's a way out of this though. That when police officers roll up on you, if you know your rights or if you have tools, you can bypass. Do you have the commercial? Sator? Do we have it? Did she leave the stage? Where'd she go?
No, I'm still here. Which commercial? Peace Family.
The constitutional rights cards commercials.
Knowledge is power, and power protects. Learn your rights. Knowledge is power.
Oh, not that one. The constitutional rights card. The one with the cards. Where's the card? Is it this one? Hold on.
Every public official swore an oath to the people, not power. This card is your reminder that the Constitution still speaks louder. Order yours at kyrf.org.
That's the qualified immunity card right there. Where's the constitutional rights? We have a constitutional rights card also, that if you have these tools, when police officers walk up to you, you don't have to say anything. You say, I don't answer questions, and you hand them these cards.
You don't need to argue. Just remind them.
Oops.
You don't need to argue. Just remind them. Qualified immunity is not absolute. The law already says it. Get the qualified immunity notice at kyrf.org.
So that's the qualified. Wait, do we have the constitutional rights card one? So that should be in, once we get it, once we find it, we have a constitutional rights card one also. But these cards,
that was a good commercial. Not to cut you off. I'm sorry. I love that commercial. That guy was smiling so like filled with glee, kind of like how I was. No, you're right. Woo! It was like I felt that energy from him.
Well, let me see if this
Malley,
one is.
Harlow, Gant, Lopez, Soto, Al Kidd. The courts define the limits. The people enforce them. Carry the qualified immunity notice, kyrf.org.
Bam. So those are major cases that take away police officers' qualified immunity. But we also have a constitutional rights card. I can't find. We have so many videos in here. I just can't find it. But the constitutional rights card and the qualified immunity cards and notices you can get at kyrf.org. These are the things you keep in your car when the police officers pull you over and ask you, what's your name? What are you doing? All the questions that you don't have to answer. You say, I don't answer questions, officer. And you hand them those cards. And the constitutional rights card. Constitutional rights card here lets the police officers know what your rights are and what will happen if they violate your constitutional rights. And then the qualified immunity notice. These are qualified immunity notices here, right here. Boom, the card and the notice This lets the police officers know they lose their qualified immunity, which is that shield they get when they violate your rights, and they don't they violate your rights without knowingly violating your rights. So when you pull out these cards and you pull out your camera, very important, you want to get police officers on camera, and you alert them, or you basically are you're warning them, because police officers will say, I didn't know that law existed. Well, you pull out your cards and you say, well, officer, you're in danger of violating my constitutional rights. If you get it on camera and then they proceed to violate your constitutional rights, then they're in violation, because it says those who knowingly, because it says specifically a police officer who knowingly violates the law loses their qualified immunity. So when you warn them they're in danger of violating your constitutional rights, and then they do it on camera, you got them. So this is how you have to play the game. So again, your constitutional rights card, qualified immunity cards, and notice this is how we're going to be able to fight back. Last thing I got was coming for you people. I'm trying to tell you, you better get on this. This is this is about to be real right here, y'all. So what's coming to the people? What does society have ready for the people? This is what's coming.
Today for the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, the nation's first autonomous police patrol car was unveiled.
Local 10's Rob Fournier has more from Miami with a closer look on how it will be used, along with all the bells and whistles.
The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office.
You heard that right. A Waymo police car. This is a Waymo automatic robotic police car they're putting on the street for you. The game is over, y'all. The game is over. Robotic police cars. Where you gonna run? Let's see. Well, let's see how it goes.
Office is really on the cutting edge of technology with this one. This smart unit has the ability to patrol, search for, and identify threats without a deputy even being inside. Meet Pug, a police patrol car powered by AI.
I think it's a game changer.
The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office unveiled the new state-of-the-art vehicle that has the capability of being fully autonomous.
For us, it's a way that we can touch our community in a way that we really have never done before. And we are setting the standard what will be the future of law enforcement for this country.
There is no other police vehicle on the road in the U.S. that's like PUG, which is an acronym for Police Unmanned Ground. The high-tech patrol partner was donated by the company Policing Lab and is equipped with 360-degree cameras, license plate readers, audio sensors, thermal imaging, and more.
It has the capability to identify folks that are in a restricted area, they're hiding in shrubbery, or an overwatch position, someone on a rooftop.
If we have an active situation, an active shooting, or a critical response, I'm able to send this vehicle in, and it will deploy a drone that will give us aerial footage real time for our deputies that are responding.
PUG can drive pre-planned routes on its own, and the sheriff says it will be a critical crime-fighting tool and a bridge to boosting confidence in the community.
For the first few months or a year or so, we're going to have a deputy in that vehicle before it goes fully autonomous. And one of the reasons is we want to hear from our community what they like about it, what their concerns are.
The law enforcement community is certainly very excited about this new technology, but the best news of all, no extra tax dollars are being used because this technology is being donated by that company. In the meantime, it is safe to say that other departments across the country will be watching how this rollout happens, just in case they want this technology in their own community. Reporting.
People. Spaghetti-o, people.
Who's the donator?
Huh?
Who's the donator? It was donated. It's not coming out of tax fund.
Yo, where is everybody? I can't see you guys on the screen. Why is y'all not on the stage?
I don't know what you did, but
I
yeah.
didn't do anything. There you go. All right. There you go. Huh? They didn't say. They didn't say who the private party was. Yeah, but so give us a few words on this, Ayana, before we get out of here. This is the last topic. What say you to RoboCop? This is a real life RoboCop.
We actually covered this when it first came out on our Twitter, like a few months ago. Mm-hmm. You remember that, Odalise? And
this a month ago. This was released a month ago.
They've been talking about it. The news broke.
No, we're not in that feed. So again, you keep talking about stuff that's not happening here. Quick answer of how you feel about it now.
Quick answer is I feel that's awfully suspicious, and the people, I believe that the news has kind of swayed and washed it over and made it seem so smooth and inviting, and I don't think it's like that. I don't get that. I don't get that vibe from it at all. That the people are excited and some have concerns and some are excited. Like, no, I don't think so. I think everyone's like, what's going on here? What is this? Yeah. I yield.
All right. Devlin, what you think, bro, about the RoboCop?
Yeah. The private party that donated that car is the government. That's who did it.
How you know? How you know, man?
It's DARPA, man.
You don't know.
It's
You
the
don't
government.
know. The government.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's who did it. But the thing with those, man, I don't see it as good or bad. I just know that, with any police or law enforcement or whatever, you have your good and bad. This thing can be hacked in. Anything like this can be hacked in. And wait until someone hacks it. Wait until that happens.
That's what they were saying. That's one of the. They say it's not hackable though.
Oh, it is hackable. Anything.
He said. Don't believe that bull.
Oh, no, don't believe the hype.
Don't believe that bull crap right there. All right, he said it's dead. All right, he waiting for the hacking. Odalise, RoboCop coming to your town. What do you think?
That a lot of people have acquiesced to this by the selfies, by allowing the pictures to be taken in airports. So no longer imply that we're in a police state. I mean, it's no longer speculative. It's now.
He said that ain't Herbie. You probably don't know. Y'all know who Herbie the Love Bug? Y'all remember that movie, Herbie the Love Bug? Y'all don't remember Herbie? Oh no, another movie you don't know. So Herbie the Love Bug back in the 60s. There was a Volkswagen bug who was alive. It was called Herbie the Love Bug. But go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
This pug, let me tell you. The reality of it is just there's no question we're a police state, and it's going to be through the actions of the federal government and now through the actions of the RoboCop. So there's no.
All right. And Gerald, you get the last word, bro. What you think of RoboCop?
Thank you because I've been wanting to get on Odalise because she be saying some things that be like, what? I'm like, what? Okay. I'm gonna go there. How do you hide? And I'm not being wrong about it, but how do you hide something from a nigga? You put it right in front of them. The word nigga means ignorant, and ignorant means not knowing the truth. They put it in the movies. Total Recall.
I'm going to push back on that one real quick, bro. Okay, my channel is called Real Nagas, so nigga.
No, but it's not. Naga. Yeah, it's Nagas.
Naga.
Nagas. Okay, yeah, so anyway, they put it in the movies. One was Demolition Man. Great movie.
Demolition. You remember that? Hey,
yeah. Man. With Wesley Snipes.
With Wesley Snipes. Yep.
Damn good movie with Wesley Snipes. Then you got the movie with Will Smith. I, Robot.
Oh yeah, I, Robot. Yep.
Start piecing this stuff together, and then there's one more: Total Recall, Demolition, Total Recall. So all of these things, and y'all know who did it. The American government got the technology. They sent all the tech to China over there. They put that on steroids. United States went back over there and grabbed that shit. United States had this technology for so long, but they sent it over there. They didn't want us to get a hold to it. So now it has come back. And Kev, now we're going to talk about spaceships. You know where they got all of this technology from. Come on. We want to go there. So it's going to happen. The best thing I can do is tell y'all to go get the movie They Live.
Hey, that's my movie right there. That's my movie. Roddy Piper.
Man,
Rowdy.
man.
Rowdy. And Keith David.
And get your Ray-Bans. All you got to do is stay out the way. It's not coming at you.
Get your Ray-Bans.
Get your Ray-Bans.
Hey, you funny as hell.
But I'm telling the truth, because in life, and trust me, 68 is a gift. I've lost a lot of friends, which now I'm on it. I'm like, wow, I'm losing friends, but I'm losing friends to things that are not taking care of themselves. All y'all got to do is float like a butterfly, sting like a, just stay out the damn way. Stay out the damn way. Stay out the way, because the youth are acting a fool. If they want that smoke, they go knocking at the door. The smoke is gonna come back at them. It's simple as that. You don't go mess around with a beehive's nest, because if you hit the beehive's nest, guess what the bee's gonna do? They're gonna react and they're going to sting your ass. We're moving to a new technology world. Don't be surprised you see these ETs. It's about to get crazy.
Yes, it is. Thank you, brother. Appreciate. Hey, man, you better show up here next week. I mean, not next week. We got the next one is 2 weeks. So make sure you show up for the next one in 2 weeks.
I will, brother.
All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Man, RoboCop is coming, you guys, and it's a new world. There's no way out of it. You have to up your game. Everything evolves, and so you have to evolve. It's the time of police officers whooping our ass and they beating us and we ain't got no. That time is gone. Everything you need to know about police officers is public information. What you need to know about keeping them off your ass is public information. And it's up to you to get out there and get it. Now, where do you get it from? Know Your Rights Foundation. We're teaching it at kyrf.org. Make sure you get over there, kyrf.org. We will teach you the law for free. That's right, for free. But you got to promise to go back out and teach it to your family, your friends, and community. That's the deal. So we pay it forward to you. You pay it forward to someone else. But this is the only solution coming out here in the future. You marching in the street and crying and beating up police officers. None of that's going to work. All you're going to do is give him an excuse to implement the police state. Your defense, your best defense against the police state is knowing how they work, knowing the rules to the game, because then you can stop them. You can just turn them. Think of the police officers like a game. You can turn them on and off when you want. If you know the rules, if you read the instructions when you open the box. But if you don't do that, then you're just the greatest American hero around here, flying and running in the buildings and shit, flying into shit. If you don't know the greatest American hero, if you don't know that reference, go look at the greatest American hero. He was flying around in a super suit with no instructions, and all he was doing was crashing into shit all the time. Bam, boom, bow. Every time he ran, bow. Oh shit. That's you. You have a super suit, you don't know how to use it. So find the instructions to the super suit, kyrf.org. /volunteers. Make sure you sign up. Any last words, everybody, before we get out of here?
I just want to say those cards work. They have superpowers. So thank you.
Appreciate you, Odalise. Devlin?
Sign up for knowyourrightsfoundation.org. That's all I got to say.
That's what's up. Ayana?
Know your rights.
yeah, you shouldn't have been driving the way she was driving, yo. Just her. Appreciate it. Gerald,
I'm gonna say yes. I do want to say this. Somebody said something earlier, and I'm letting you know that America is the best place, because I don't have the rights that you guys have. This Great Britain Empire, they are no joke, and it's right above the United States. Canada is like, no, man, they don't. I'm telling you, I miss home for the simple fact y'all got the right to the freedom of speech.
Man, that's
You know what I'm saying? See, if Odalise was up here, man, they didn't hemmed her little ass up. Like, what you say? What you say? I'm joking, Odalise. I'm joking, but they would. So, hey, and something else, brother. You know, I appreciate you. You know, I did buy your book. I have it over there. it doesn't work up here, but I can't wait to get back home to exercise. But I plan on being a protocol ghost anyway. I plan on staying out the way. You know, I didn't live this long, but I do appreciate your channel. Thank you. I mean, just thank you for educating a brother like me, because in school, they didn't say this, but we had teachers who were talking like you. So, but they were restricted to give us this information. And I did take government and civics. I got a great education. I did.
But they didn't teach us this stuff. They didn't teach us this.
No. So the thing about it is, you know, you're doing this God that lives inside of you and not on the outside. Again, I thank your mother. I thank your father. I thank you. I think I enjoy your path, and thank you for educating my old ass. I appreciate you, brother.
That's what's up. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother. Hey,
power to the
everybody
people.
in here.
Okay.
Appreciate everybody in here, for everybody for showing up and espousing your views on what's going on, to give people some enlightenment, give people some, you know, understanding of what's going on and what they can and they can't do in this system. Knowing that we got to get together, but you have to do something. You got to do something. And mostly what that is learning the system. Knowledge is always power. You always learn what to do or what not to do. Knowledge is always good. You'll either learn what to do or what not to do, but you'll learn something. So get in here, get this information, and so we can get it. That's it for me. I'm hungry as hell. I will see y'all tomorrow, though. I will be live streaming tomorrow. So love y'all. I'm out of here. Peace out. Deuces, y'all. Boom.
Enjoy your meal.
Peace.
Knowledge is power, and power protects. Learn your rights for free with the Know Your Rights Foundation. Visit kyrf.org or support the cause at shopkyrf.com. Protecting people through education, not fear.
When the moment comes, will you know what to say? At the Know Your Rights Foundation, we teach the law for free, protecting people through education, not fear. Visit kyrf.org to volunteer, donate, or learn your rights before you need them.
This isn't fear, it's freedom. Join the movement. Learn your rights. Visit kyrf.org or grab your gear at shopkyrf.com. The Know Your Rights Foundation, teaching the law for free.
Know your rights before you need them. The Know Your Rights Foundation teaches the law for free, protecting people through education, not fear. Visit kyrf.org or support the movement at shopkyrf.com.